Chosen one, the final hour has come, and the air around you carries a weight you cannot ignore. Imagine a great sky torn open with thunder, a beam of light cutting through the shadows that once hid your path. You feel it pressing against your chest like a heartbeat louder than your own. This is not another ordinary day. This is not just another passing word. It is the last call, the last chance, the voice that refuses to let you drift back into silence. God has whispered into your spirit again and again, but today it is not a whisper, it is a roar. This is your final chance. Do not turn away. You're not here by accident. You've been guided to this exact moment because your life is standing at the edge of change. What you release today has the power to open doors that were sealed shut. In the comments, I want you to pour out your warmest wishes, the dreams you've been carrying in secret, the freedom you long to touch, the breakthrough your soul is begging for, and seal them with the number 99. This is not just a gesture, it is an act of alignment. Write 99 in the comments. It's time to release your wish to the universe. And if your spirit woke up while listening, don't scroll away. Like this video. Subscribe now. You belong here. You are not a passerby. You are part of this divine movement. Don't hesitate. Don't delay. Take this action now. Feel the urgency vibrating in the air around you. Every delay in your past has led to pain, confusion, and detours that stole years from your destiny. But heaven is calling once more, not with patience, but with finality. The truth is heavy. This is not a rehearsal. You are not being tested again and again endlessly. The circle is closed, and what you decide now will either unlock the gates or leave them barred. It is God's mercy that still reaches for you in this moment. But mercy has a time, and time has an end. This is your end of delay. This is the line in the sand. Cross it, chosen one. Look at your life, every missed opportunity, every ignored sign. Every night you felt the push in your heart but silenced it with excuses. Those excuses became walls. Those walls became prisons. And yet, here you are, listening to words that are not simply words, but a direct summons. You were not supposed to make it this far, but you did. You survived betrayals, losses, and storms that others could not endure. That alone is proof you were marked for something greater. But being marked means nothing if you do not answer the call. God is saying, this is your final chance. Not next week, not someday, now. Close your eyes for a moment and picture yourself standing before a locked door. You have stood before it countless times, too afraid to knock, too doubtful to push. But now the door is trembling, shaking under the weight of divine power. You can feel the handle burning in your hand. This is the door to everything you prayed for when you thought no one was listening. But here's the truth. If you walk away now, the door will not wait for you anymore. It will close permanently. That is why this moment is sacred. That is why you are being shaken awake. This is not another encouragement. This is the final alarm. Chosen one, every story has a climax. Every journey has a point where the hero must decide whether to rise or vanish into the crowd. That moment is here for you. Heaven has already written chapters ahead of you. chapters filled with victory, abundance, and freedom. But they will never be unlocked if you refuse to step forward. This is why you feel the tension in your chest right now. It is your soul recognizing that the pages are waiting to be turned. The final chance is not just about avoiding loss. It is about gaining everything that was meant for you. If you let it pass, you will carry the weight of silence. But if you seize it, you will carry the sound of destiny. And here is the truth you cannot deny. You already know this message is for you. You feel it deeper than words, in a place logic cannot reach. It is the same pull you felt in your dreams, the same sign that followed you when you tried to run, the same echo you heard in quiet moments when no one else was around. God has been patient, but patience has brought you to this threshold, and thresholds are meant to be crossed. This is your moment. This is your chance, and it will not wait. Chosen one, God said this is your final chance. Don't ignore it. Don't ignore. The silence around you is not empty. It is charged. Like the seconds before a lightning strike, like the still air before a storm tears open the sky. You can feel something gathering, something pressing down, demanding your attention. This is not ordinary silence. It is heaven holding its breath, waiting for your response. Every delay, every hesitation, every time you turned away before, all of it has brought you here. Chosen one, you cannot outrun this moment. It is standing in front of you, fierce and unshakable, waiting to see if you will step into it or retreat back into shadows. You have been preserved for this hour. Think about it. You could have been destroyed in that accident, in that sickness, in that betrayal, but you weren't. You could have lost your mind when the weight of life tried to crush you, but you didn't. You could have drowned in despair when the world turned against you, but something pulled you back. That something was not luck. That something was not chance. It was God's hand holding you together, even when you were unaware. But that same hand is now pointing forward, commanding you to walk. If you refuse, the very mercy that carried you will withdraw. Do not mistake survival for destiny. Survival was only meant to bring you here. Destiny demands more. Look back at the moments when you knew you should act, but stayed still. The times when your spirit screamed, but your fear silenced it. Those delays cost you. You lost time, you lost connections, you lost opportunities that will never return. But today is different. Today is not another missed chance waiting to add to the pile of regret. Today is the final chance, the last rope thrown to you before the waters swallow everything. If you ignore this, there will not be another. That is the gravity pressing against you right now. That is why your chest feels heavy. It is the weight of heaven's ultimatum. Chosen one, there is a reason you have always felt out of place. Why you couldn't blend in even when you tried. Why people pushed you away or misunderstood you. Why your journey felt lonely and endless. It wasn't rejection, it was protection. You were set apart, hidden in plain sight, waiting for a moment when the world would be forced to acknowledge what God already marked inside you. That moment is here. This is why the words final chance echo louder than anything else. Because if you do not rise now, you risk erasing everything you were separated for. The world will not wait forever. Your calling will not circle back endlessly. Time is screaming at you. Act now. Can you feel the fire? It is not just outside of you, it is inside of you, burning in places you've ignored for too long. It burns in the dreams you buried, in the prayers you gave up on, in the promises you thought were forgotten. That fire is not gone. It is alive, demanding release. But fire unattended turns to ash. If you do not use what you've been given, it will consume you instead of lifting you. That is why this moment is both terrifying and sacred, because everything depends on whether you step into the fire or turn away from it. There are people connected to your obedience. There are lives waiting to be changed because you decide to walk forward. Your family, your children, your friends, even strangers you will never meet, are tied to this decision. If you ignore it, their blessings collapse with yours. If you step into it, their chains fall with yours. This is bigger than you. That is why God is not whispering anymore. That is why the voice you hear now feels heavier, louder, inescapable. It is not just about saving you. It is about unleashing everything your life was meant to release into the world. You know the truth. Running has never brought you peace. Hiding has never quieted the voice. Ignoring has never erased the signs. Every time you try to push it away, it returns stronger. That is because you are not allowed to live small. You are not allowed to drift into mediocrity. You were chosen, and chosen ones do not escape their calling. They either rise or they fall under the weight of it. You are being given the chance to rise, but if you don't, you will fall. And this time, there will not be another hand to lift you up. This is the final chance. The choice is brutal in its simplicity. Obey or lose everything. Chosen one, do not confuse comfort with safety. Comfort is the trap that has kept you where you are. It whispers that tomorrow is good enough, that later is soon enough, that small is safe enough. But safety is not in delay, it is in alignment. Safety is not in hiding, it is in answering. God has placed you here to choose. If you step forward, storms will part. If you turn away, storms will consume. The weight you feel is not fear, it is truth. And truth will not move until you do. This is your moment. This is your final chance. Do not ignore it. Do not hesitate. Do not scroll away from it. The door is wide open right now, but soon it will slam shut. The night feels darker before dawn for a reason. It is the moment when everything inside you is tested, when doubt screams the loudest and faith feels weakest. Chosen one, you are standing in that exact darkness right now. The final chance does not come wrapped in comfort. It comes cloaked in fire, demanding that you walk through it even when your knees tremble. This is how destinies are born, not in ease, but in moments like this, when the choice to obey outweighs the fear of loss. Can you feel it? The air is trembling around you because heaven is watching. Angels are leaning in. The universe itself is waiting to see what you will do. You've been given warnings before, signs that shook you awake for a moment, only for you to fall back asleep. But this time is different. The warning is not for later. The call is not for someday. The voice is sharper, heavier, final. God is not repeating himself endlessly. His patience has boundaries, and you are standing at the edge of them. To ignore this is not just to delay, it is to reject. to reject the very reason you were placed on this earth. That's why this feels heavier than anything you've faced before, because it is. This is the last invitation, and invitations expire. Think of every time you almost gave up but didn't. The nights you cried yourself to sleep, whispering prayers you thought evaporated in silence. The mornings you dragged yourself forward, even when you didn't want to live another day. Those moments were not wasted. They were recorded. They were kept. They were leading here, to this final chance, where the pain you endured is about to be rewritten as purpose, if you accept it. But if you turn away, all that pain becomes meaningless, and you know deep down you cannot bear to let it all be wasted. You didn't survive everything just to end in silence. You are here to rise. Chosen one, the enemy wanted you broken. Life tried to bury you in distraction, in doubt, in fear. People around you misunderstood you, rejected you, mocked you. But all of it was part of the separation. You were not abandoned. You were being refined. The fire was not sent to destroy you, but to strip away everything that cannot walk into your destiny. And now, standing purified but trembling, you are being asked to choose. The question is simple. Will you stay in the ashes, or will you rise into the fire? This is not about comfort. This is not about ease. This is about obedience, and obedience is never optional for the chosen. It is demanded. You already feel the shift happening in your spirit. The words you are hearing are not just words. They are cutting through walls you built over years of pain. They are breaking through excuses you wrapped around yourself like armor. The truth is piercing, and truth does not leave you neutral. Either you will resist it and collapse under its weight, or you will surrender and be lifted into the life that has always been waiting for you. But neutrality does not exist anymore. The time for being half in, half out has ended. This is why it feels so heavy, because heaven has removed the middle ground. Picture your future for a moment. If you say yes, doors will open that were welded shut. Paths will clear that were overgrown with fear. You will see the reason for every delay, every heartbreak, every lonely night. But if you say no, if you ignore this final chance, those same doors will close forever. You will walk in circles, carrying regret heavier than any burden you've known before. That is the reality of this moment. It decides not just tomorrow, but eternity. That's why your heart is pounding right now. That's why you can't look away, because your spirit knows. This is the choice that changes everything. Chosen one, you are not powerless. You are not weak. The enemy wanted you to believe you had no say, that your future was sealed in failure. But here you are, hearing the truth with your own ears, feeling it in your own chest. That is power, the ability to choose, the ability to step into what was meant for you. The final chance is not meant to scare you. It is meant to set you free. But freedom only comes when you act, when you step into alignment, when you refuse to delay any longer. And once you act, heaven will move on your behalf in ways you cannot imagine. You will not walk alone. You never have. But you must take the step. So here you stand, trembling at the edge of decision, knowing the truth but battling the fear. And yet the fear is proof you are close. The fear is loudest right before the breakthrough. Do not listen to it. Do not let it chain you again. Step anyway. Move anyway. Obey anyway. Because the weight you feel now will transform into wings the moment you say yes. This is your time. This is your moment. This is your final chance. Chosen one, God is calling louder than ever, and you cannot afford to ignore it. The air feels different when destiny is near. It is heavier, sharper, almost electric, as if the unseen world has stepped closer to touch the surface of your life. Chosen one, that is what surrounds you now. This weight you feel is not fear, it is divine urgency. It is the sound of eternity pressing itself against your present moment, forcing you to decide. You cannot escape it. You cannot mute it. Every distraction you run to feels hollow. Every excuse you create crumbles in your mouth. Every delay turns to dust. Because this moment was designed to corner you, to strip away all the noise until only truth remains. And the truth is simple. This is your final chance. You may wonder why the voice sounds louder now, why the signs feel closer, why the urgency is more fierce than ever. It is because heaven has already stretched its hand as far as it will go. You have been warned. You have been guided. You have been preserved again and again, even when you didn't deserve it. But preservation was not the destination. It was the preparation. The final chance is not about survival. It is about stepping into the reason you survived at all. If you refuse, survival will turn bitter. Life will become heavier. Doors will close permanently. Because what was mercy becomes judgment when ignored. That is why the voice is shaking you now. That is why you cannot look away. Think of the signs you brushed off, the dreams you had, the whispers in your spirit, the moments you knew you were being called higher, but chose to stay low. Those were not random. They were training. They were warnings. But warnings are never endless. They were leading to this one moment where heaven is no longer suggesting, but demanding. Chosen one, this is not just another call. It is the last one. To ignore it is not to wait, but to rebel. And rebellion always carries a price. Do you feel the seriousness now? This is not about encouragement anymore. This is about the line between destiny and destruction. You already know how heavy regret feels. You've carried it before. You've looked back at missed chances, missed words, missed moments, and felt the sting of what if. But regret for ignoring this final chance will be heavier than anything you've ever known. Because it will not fade with time. It will grow. It will haunt. It will remind you of the moment you stood at the doorway of destiny and chose silence. That is why your spirit feels restless right now. It knows the weight of what is at stake. It knows this is the turning point. And you cannot afford to pretend otherwise. Chosen one, do you realize that everything around you is shifting because of this decision? The heaviness you feel is not just for you. It is for the generations connected to you. Your obedience will ripple forward, unlocking blessings for those who come after you. But your disobedience will ripple just as far, sealing off doors for those who needed you to say yes. This is why you feel such pressure. It is not only about your life. It is about the lives tied to your courage. God trusted you enough to carry this weight, but trust demands a response, and that response is due now. You have been fighting battles alone, thinking no one saw you. You felt abandoned, rejected, misunderstood, even cursed. But you were hidden, not forgotten. Every tear, every sleepless night, every desperate prayer was fuel for this moment. You thought you were being punished, but you were being preserved. You thought you were being overlooked, but you were being refined. And now, the fire that once felt like torture has become the very flame that proves you are ready. Ready to step forward, ready to say yes, ready to take the final chance before it disappears forever. There is no middle ground left. Neutrality is gone. Either you obey or you reject. Either you rise or you collapse. Either you step into what was meant for you or you watch it slip into the hands of someone else. The window is narrow and the time is now. That is why this message feels heavier than anything else you've heard. It is supposed to, because eternity is louder than comfort, and destiny is more demanding than delay. The choice is pressing against you, and you cannot escape it. This is the edge of everything. Chosen one, this is your final chance. Don't ignore it. Chosen one, picture this moment as if the entire sky has gone silent, the earth itself holding its breath, and every eye in the unseen world fixed on you. The light above you is breaking through like a storm tearing open the heavens, and the ground beneath you trembles, as though it knows history is waiting for your decision. You are standing at the cliff's edge of destiny, and one step forward will unlock everything. One step back will erase everything. The gravity of this moment is crushing, but it is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to crown you. God has said it plainly. This is your final chance. Do not ignore it. All the years of confusion, all the seasons of delay, all the nights you cried and wondered why nothing ever changed. Every single one of them has been leading here. This is not punishment. This is the crescendo of your story, the reason you have survived storms that should have killed you, the reason you've walked through fire and are still standing. Every scar, every loss, every rejection was not the end. It was the preparation. And now, the voice of heaven is not whispering anymore. It is thundering. It is roaring. It is calling you by name. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. The question is simple. Will you obey, or will you walk away? Chosen one, do you understand what is being offered to you? It is not just a blessing. It is not just a chance to escape pain. It is the unveiling of your true life, the life that has been waiting behind closed doors for years. It is freedom from cycles, release from chains, breakthrough from delays. It is the reason you've always felt different, the reason you could never blend in, the reason you felt restless even when others seemed satisfied. You were not made for smallness. You were made for this moment. But moments do not last forever. Doors close, windows shut, opportunities vanish. This one will not come again. The truth is raw. If you ignore this, you will carry the weight of regret until your final breath. You will always know you stood at the doorway of everything and chose to turn away. That is the heaviness pressing into your chest right now. But the beauty is just as real. If you say yes, if you obey, If you step into alignment, you will never be the same. Your life will crack open like the sky at dawn, and light will pour into every place darkness tried to rule. This is why you were preserved. This is why you are still alive. This is why you are hearing these words. Because heaven has decided your time is now. Look beyond yourself for a moment. Imagine your family, your children, your friends, even strangers you will never meet, all rising because you chose to rise. Imagine generations being freed because you refused to ignore this chance. Imagine chains breaking in lives you don't even know because your obedience sent ripples through eternity. That is the weight of your decision. That is the reason this feels so intense. You are not being asked to do this only for yourself. You are being asked because heaven knew you were strong enough to carry the responsibility of many. That is the honor of being chosen, and honor always demands courage. So now you stand here, trembling at the threshold, your spirit screaming louder than your fear, your destiny burning hotter than your excuses. There is no middle ground left. Either you rise or you fall. Either you obey or you reject. Either you take the final chance or you watch it disappear forever. And silence is still a choice. To hesitate is to lose. To delay is to reject. That is why this urgency is overwhelming you. It is your soul demanding that you move now. This is the last call, the final alarm, the sound of heaven knocking on your door one final time. Chosen one, hear me clearly. You cannot afford to ignore this. You cannot run back to comfort. You cannot sink into delay. You cannot pretend you didn't hear it. The voice is too loud, the truth too sharp, the timing too divine. This is it. Everything is on the line. Your future, your freedom, your family, your calling, all of it waits on this decision. Do not let fear steal it from you. Do not let doubt drown it out. Do not let pride keep you frozen. Step forward. Say yes. Obey. Because if you do, heaven will open in your life in ways you cannot imagine. And if you don't, you will carry the silence forever. This is the end of waiting. This is the end of excuses. This is the end of delay. You are standing in the fire, and the fire is demanding an answer. Chosen one, God said this is your final chance. Don't ignore it. Take it now. Step into it now. The heavens are watching, eternity is waiting, and destiny is calling your name. Do not let this pass. This is the final moment. This is the final chance. This is everything.